I'm very excited about this because I'm a big women's softball fan. My daughters played. I coached a little high school softball after my high school baseball career wound down because I wanted to coach my oldest daughter for a couple of years. And I have followed this lady from when she was a star at UCLA. And I mean a star. One of the great softball players in the history of women's softball. She's now in her first year after 13 years working with Kathy Van Wyk out at San Diego State. She's in her first year as the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, and that's Stacey Nuveman. Deniz joins us here on our Premier Chevrolet Carlsbad Fan Hotline. Stacey, welcome. It's great to have you on, and thanks so much for the time today.
Hey, I'm excited to be back with you, Coach.
Boy, it's been a long time. I was telling everyone last time I had you on, you were playing for the Olympic team, and you were down at the training center down there in Chula Vista. And, since then, you've really put together a tremendous coaching career working with Kathy all those years. And I know you've had a tremendous amount of opportunities to leave San Diego and take other jobs, but you've been very loyal to the Aztecs, and now it's really starting to pay off for you and your family, isn't it?
Well, that's just it. I as they say, good things come to those that wait. And, it took a little time for me to get this opportunity, but I'm so thrilled to, finally be in the big seat, the big chair, the comfy head coach chair, and really excited about, the season we're putting together and the future of Aztec softball.
Hey, Stacey, I want you to talk a little bit about the balance in your life because, you got married, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you got married back in about 2003, and I know you have two boys. Your husband's a very big name attorney here in the community. Talk a little bit about the balance in life, raising two boys and having a husband that has a very busy career as well.
Well, this career choice, and as you said, being married to a successful attorney definitely is not for the faint of heart. We've got a busy life, and now our kids are getting more and more busy with their own activities and sports, and we've got a couple of ballers that we're raising as well. So it's not easy, and I have to say, this year taking over for Coach Van Wyk and sitting in this seat is it's a whole nother level of commitment and pressure and, sleepless nights, wake up in the middle of the night thinking about lineups and matchups and, all those other good things. So it's tough, but, at the same time, this is what I signed up for. This is the vision and the belief I had in this program and this department and the things that we can do here in San Diego State. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And absolutely, it's a challenge to be all the things to everybody in my life that I want to be. But I also relish the opportunities I have. And, it comes back to simply being present when I'm present. And when I'm home, I'm home. And when I'm here, I'm all in. And, again, it's not always easy, but it's definitely, a life choice and a lifestyle that my whole family has embraced. And they're pumped. My whole family's coming to Vegas. My parents are coming to Vegas this weekend. Everybody's jumping on the Sdsu softball bandwagon for sure.
And we're visiting with Stacey Nuveman, Deniz, the head women's softball coach out at San Diego State. Her Aztecs right now 25-10, 9-0 in the Mountain West Conference, ranked this week 25th in D1 softball rankings. And Stacey's talking about this weekend. They've got a big 3-game series over there against UNLV. And what's kind of interesting, Stace, is UNLV and the Aztecs, when the preseason rankings came out, you guys actually tied. People, whoever votes on it, they tied that you guys should tie for first place. But I know they've got one conference loss. You guys are undefeated. You're going over there, a critical series on the road. And tell us a little bit about your team, who your star pitcher is. I know she's been dominant so far. She's won the Mountain West Conference Pitcher of the Week 6 out of the first 8 weeks of the season. But tell us a little bit about the ball club.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, this weekend we're going head to head 1-2 in the conference with UNLV being just behind us by half a game. So it's going to be a battle. We've had some epic battles with UNLV the last several years. A couple years ago, pre-COVID, we had a 17-inning affair actually here in San Diego. So we always know we're going to get a good game against the Rebels, and We know their coaches well. You know, they know us well. There's definitely some competitive juices flowing, regardless of the fact that we're both, you know, battling for championships. So absolutely a critical weekend for us as far as our team goes. You know, we've got a tremendous lineup offensively. We're doing some really great things with the stick, but you know, it comes down to Maggie Ballard in the circle for us. You know, Maggie's a fifth-year senior. She's been dominant this season. She's always been very, very, very good, but I feel like this year she's really taken another level, another jump in her development and her just her command, her mastery, her confidence, her maturity. You know, she in the past, you know, she got rattled a little bit if she would get hit or things weren't going her way, but I feel like right now she's really locked in. She is totally focused on the in the moment. What do I got to do this inning to get these three batters out? And that kind of intention and just focus on being in the moment and not thinking ahead, not looking back to, God, I had a rough inning or I gave up a home run, whatever the case might be. She's right back to, what do I got to do right now to be successful? And so she's absolutely a key to our success. And I'm really proud of just the way this team has really answered. You know, we've gone 9-0 in the conference thus far, and not really in dominating fashion, to be honest. I mean, we've had one kind of dominant win out of those 9, and the rest of them were grind. You know, we had to grind them out. And I think that's actually a positive because it shows us that we can win ball games even when we're not maybe playing our very best. So I just keep saying, hey, just can you imagine how amazing this is going to go and how this is going to feel when we are firing on all cylinders and when we are, you know, all three phases of the game are dialed in at the same time. So this weekend will be a challenge. Absolutely. Can we put it all together and do it on the road? I'm excited to see us, you know, compete and do what we do best.
Stacey Nuveman, Deniz, head softball coach out at San Diego State. You were the recruiting coordinator for Kathy, and obviously you're very active in recruiting now as the head coach as well. What was it like trying to recruit during the pandemic?
Oh, I don't even want to go back to those days. You know, it was doing virtual visits, literally, you know, coaches with masks on walking around campus with an iPhone or a laptop, trying to give recruits, prospective student athletes, you know, the vision, the visuals of the campus and the facilities and things like that. I mean, we had players literally committing sight unseen, not having met them in person, not having seen campus in person. So definitely not something we want to go back to. Hopefully we never have to, knock on wood. You know, we did okay during that time, but it was certainly challenges that we don't want to have to face again.
Stacey, talk a little bit about, from your perspective, I mean, you're one of the greatest players that ever played softball in the world, let alone the United States. I mean, and if people don't believe that, just go ahead like I did the other day and Google Stacey Nuveman, Deniz, or greatest softball players of all time, and they'll have a bunch of pitchers show up, Michelle Granger and Kat Osterman and Lisa Fernandez, but all of a sudden Stacey Nuveman, Deniz will show up. When you were at UCLA, you guys won national championships. You're one of the best teams year in and year out. But how has the game changed since you played in the late 90s, early 2000s to where we're at right now?
The game is almost unrecognizable in a good way. You know, the way that technology, both in terms of equipment as well as video analysis and metrics and cybermetrics and data and all of those things have started to infuse into softball. And you know, we're behind baseball, right? Baseball's been doing that for 15 years now. But I think softball is finally coming around to see the value in some of those technological aspects and just making us more informed. The training acumen and specificity with which softball athletes are being trained is at another level than it was when I played. You know, they trained us like football players back in the day. And now they understand that you don't train a baseball, softball, throwing athlete the same way you would a linebacker. So I think the way that athletes are trained, the way they recover, the education they have on nutrition and hydration. I mean, it sounds kind of basic now in 2022 because these are all things that as even a casual sports fan you hear in the kind of daily language, but that wasn't really part of the deal back then. And so now you look at just how good these athletes are in all facets, the mental, the physical, emotional, and again, the way that we can now prepare for opponents in a way that we didn't really have the ability to do before. All of those things just change the game and make for several layers of, again, preparation and knowledge and information that helps us make decisions and helps us prepare our team the best we can to be ready to compete.
And we're visiting with Stacey Nuveman, Deniz, a head coach at San Diego State. The Aztecs ranked 25th in the country right now, a perfect 9-0 in the Mountain West Conference. Hey, when you're recruiting, and I'm sure a lot of the parents, they remember you if they've been into softball. Their kids may not remember you because they're, 15, 16, 17 years old right now. Have you ever pull out one of your 2 gold medals to show them?
I have to be honest, I have not busted out the medals in a very long time. But I will say this, on my coaching staff, I've got a couple of Olympians as well. Victoria Hayward is a bronze medalist with Team Canada, and then, of course, Rachel Garcia, who got a silver this summer with Team USA. So they've actually brought out their medals. So our team has been around Olympic hardware recently, but for my own medals, those are tucked away in a safe deposit box and haven't brought those out yet.
That's great. Well, hey, Stacey, thanks so much for the time. We'll look forward to doing this again as you guys work your way towards the NCAA tournament. Good luck this weekend in Vegas, and we'll look forward to seeing the result. And thanks so much for the time today. Great to catch up with you.
John, it was awesome, and hope to be back.
Hey, you be well, and good luck.
Thank you. Take care.
Well, I got to tell you, I was really looking forward to this interview. I had her on many, many years ago. It's got to be 20 years ago when she was playing for the U.S. national team. And just to tell you how great a player she was one of the greatest hitters, if not the greatest hitter in softball history. I mean, I don't know who you want to match her up against, but check out these numbers. When she was a catcher at UCLA, and by the way, nobody ever talks about how great a catcher she was. She was a hell of a catcher. Great defensive catcher who could throw. But her career at UCLA, she had 691 at-bats. She hit 466. 466 for a career going against the best pitchers in America. She hit 90 homers and had 299 RBIs. And at UCLA, her senior year, she hit over 500. Over 500. I mean, she was amazing hitter. An amazing hitter. And, again, I mentioned 2 Olympic gold medals, 2000 in Sydney, 2004 in Athens. She got a silver medal in 2008 in Beijing. And in 250 at-bats on the national team, she hit 328. And you're going against the best pitchers in the world. I mean, she was something else. I saw her one day at UCLA years ago when she was playing. They played up at Lake Drive in Cardiff. And a lot of my granddaughter plays up there now. My daughter's played up there on those fields. They had this college tournament one weekend. And I went up there. UCLA was playing, and they were the hot stuff. She won 1 national championship when she played at UCLA. Probably should have won another 1 or 2, but, there are other good teams out there as well. But they won a national championship. And I remember going up and watching her play. She hit a ball farther than most people could hit a golf ball. I mean, it was unbelievable how far she could hit a softball. But just an incredible person. She moved to San Diego, got married, had 2 boys. I would imagine they're both in their teens now. Her husband's a very successful attorney. But she was an assistant for Kathy Van Wyk out there for 13 years. And I guarantee you there are a lot of schools in the Pac-12 that wanted her. But she had a nice life here in San Diego. She's been loyal. San Diego State's been loyal to her. Kathy was loyal to her. And now she's in her first year and doing a hell of a job. It's a great story. I was telling Braden, as a kid, you have baseball cards. You're always looking on the back of baseball cards. And then every once in a while, you say, well, oh, man, I wonder what my baseball card looked like. So you'll sit down and, get a piece of paper and jot down statistics on what you'd like to hit. So if somebody saw it, you'd look pretty impressive. I told Braden, if you sat down and put statistics on the back of a baseball card to make yourself look good, you wouldn't even put numbers like Stacey Nuveman put up when she was at UCLA. I mean, it's incredible. And the other day, seriously, it was on Monday, I sat down after the show. I was watching TV, and I was waiting for the national championship game, and I go, I'm not going to type in Stacey's name. I'm going to type in greatest softball players of all time. And I scrolled down, and like I mentioned, they had Kat Osterman, they had Dot Richardson, they had Michelle Granger, the great pitcher who I interviewed many years ago out of the University of California. They had Lisa Fernandez and, Crystal Bustos, who was a great hitter. But then there's Stacey Nuveman, Deniz. And, really, a lot of them were pitchers. But when they got to the hitters, man, Stacey Nuveman, Deniz was right there. So very happy to catch up with her. Wish her Aztecs the very, very best this weekend, and we'll see where it goes. But they got a great program out there, getting some local kids. And now they're actually starting to get a lot of national recruits because Kathy Van Wyk got that program going when she took over many years ago for Linda Spradley. And now with Stacey Nuveman coming in and her national recognition, that's going to only help the Aztec program going forward.